Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm. Ah. Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. Wow. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Reggie. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We need you guys. We need the men. If we don't have you guys, my God, we have nothing, right? That's right. Thank you so much for calling. Totally appreciate you. All right. Take care. Goodbye. Yeah. So as you hear it, you hear it, you hear it. It sounds like good. Ah. All right. So some people are saying they did not hear the sound from pretty well. Sorry. I don't know if you weren't here, Mr. Reggie. My God, you missed a treat. And he was really confirming, reaffirming what I was saying about men going out and being able to take care of themselves, having their annual medical visits. And he was saying that his ex-wife used to encourage him always to go and get these checkups, and he would. And he said that it was because of his annual checkups where he was able to figure out and find out that he had diabetes. So we want to always make sure you taking this seriously. And Mr. Reggie, thank you again for your input. All right, so totally appreciate that. All right, so it's the mindset, guys. All right, it's the mindset. You can do anything. All right, but just don't forget you can't do anything without your health. All right. You have to be intentional. All right. You have to be intentional about doing these things good for yourself. Health problems can impact your income and your employment. And we know that. And many men don't want to go. Thanks, Mr. Reggie. You said great topic. Thank you so much for calling. Really appreciate you. All right. So a lot of men don't want to be able to take the time off to go for a doctor's appointment, especially if they feel like they're great, they're doing well, they're feeling healthy, and they're like, they go to the doctor and then they hear, okay, well, you have a clean bill of health. And they're like, see, I knew it was a waste of time. No, it wasn't a waste of time. It was you being sure that you're healthy so you can continue to provide for your family and yourself, right? 68% of men go to the doctor when they see blood in their urine. All right. 59% go to the doctor when they see blood in their stool. All right. When a man starts to have erectile dysfunction, that's when he'll go to the doctor. If they feel a lump, if they feel chest pains or tightness, coughing up mucus or blood or something yellow or green, it's like almost drastic. If it's not drastic, they're not going. The percentages are showing it, guys. 53% of men coughing up mucus, blood, yellow or green, go to the physician. 55% they go because of the chest pains and the tightening up. 43% will go because they're because of breathlessness. Okay, they're rapid, shallow breathing, gasping for air. So then they'll go. Right? If they feel confused or dizzy or nauseated, it's like their body has to be on high pain for them to go. But we know that there are warning signs. The dizziness, the nausea, that could be a warning sign before it escalates to something else, right? But only 35% of men that feel dizzy and are nauseated go. It's easy for men to say, "Hey, I'm gonna take an ibuprofen, or aspirin, or Tylenol, and I'll be fine." But that's always masking it, right? That's always masking it, because we know that pills mask the pain, but it doesn't take away what's really, really, really going on. June is National Men's Health Week. We are in January. So it's almost like we're kicking it off months in advance. We don't want to wait though. We don't want to wait until June to talk about men's health. We want to be able to have healthy men in June, right? So please, please, please. The Mayo Clinic, they say that men don't go to the doctor enough, or they go too late when they have high cholesterol, blood sugar, PSA, or even prostate cancer. They say that there are more preventative health things that men can do to avoid the heart attacks that men can have, or stroke, or diabetes, or hypertension. They say cholesterol, diet, or the weight can be controlled if you exercise, you diet, control your weight. Those are the things that will help to maintain good, positive, healthy living. All right. Yeah, erectile this dysfunction was associated with blood pressure, high disease, or diabetes. So if you have diabetes or heart disease or blood pressure, that is a possibility that erectile dysfunction can occur. So just knowing that, men, be able to talk to your doctor to say, is this something that could happen to me with how I'm eating, with what I'm doing, and what can I do to prevent that? Right? Take signals from something else, whatever is going on in your body, use that. Your body tells us God designed our bodies phenomenally, right? So use those warning signs, use those things that our body is telling us. High blood pressure can increase to potential cardiac disease. All right. High cholesterol can, of course, cause your arteries to be clogged. Colon and prostate cancer, uh, if detected early, it can be cured. All right. If detected early, can be cured. We know many men, not all. Okay. So this is never an all blanket statement. So don't get on me and send me hate mails. Alcohol usage, tobacco usage, risky choices. We know that those are things that can cause problems in men's health. So men are recommended to exercise at least 150 minutes weekly. What can? Yes, 150 minutes weekly. So if you exercise, it sounds like a lot. All right, all right, all right. If you exercise 30 minutes a day for 5 days, you will get your 150 minutes. 30 minutes weekly for 5 days, you'll get your 150 minutes. All right. So always make sure that you make the most of your doctor's visit. What can you do? You prepare, right? Always have at least 3 to 4 questions that you can ask your doctor about what you're feeling, letting them know how you feel, man. Okay? Share your symptoms. Are you having headaches? Are you having dizziness? Share it with them. Are you on any medication? Let them know. What are you taking? You have these headaches for how long? Okay, when do you have? And jot them down. Write them down. Write a schedule. Okay, and if you don't feel like writing it down, get your phone. We all have smartphones now. Put it in your smartphone, right? Men, put it in your smartphone. And whenever you're feeling that headache, jot it in the time and the date, and for how long you're feeling it. We're talking about men's health, y'all. We're talking about men's health on the Positive Forces show, and we're just giving tips and guidelines. So if you have men in your life that need to hear this, need to be encouraged, please, 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 please let them know that we're on and we're talking about men's health. And they can actually call us at 404-913-1124 and they can give their input, their feedback, what's happened to them, give their testimonials as well. All right. So we're at the doctor. You want to share your symptoms. You want to tell the doctor what medicine you're taking, what vitamins you're taking. And if you feel rushed at the doctor's office, because we know that the doctors have so many patients, right? You let them know, like, hey, I feel rushed and I really want to talk to you because I'm uncomfortable, or I just need to feel a little bit more secure. And those are words that you should be able to feel comfortable enough to talk to your physician about, right? Let them know that, you're worried. You're worried about how you feel. And I know that's, yeah. Men don't like to use that word. I'm worried or I'm scared because, you have to keep that Superman macho thing going. But if you want to find a simile for it, find a simile, but let the doctor know how you truly feel. Because at the end of the day, once you leave that office and get into your vehicle and you're going home, you have to contend with what's going on in your body, right? So pay attention to when it started, what time of day, okay? What kind of symptoms are you having? Are you losing weight? Are you gaining weight? All right. Nobody want to gain. Some people, if you're really skinny and you want to gain weight, then fine. But no one wants to really be obese or extremely overweight. So if you're finding that you're having these issues, it could even be a thyroid issue. It could be an issue that you just need to look into, have the doctor look into, and regulate you. Some people, like I know me, at one point, I used to exercise so much and I would still never lose the weight. I would get my bullet and I would juice my greens and I would juice my, and that would be fine. But then sometimes I would juice my grapes and my apples and my watermelons and probably put a hint of, cucumber in there. But then I recognized that I was piling myself up with all these healthy sugars. So that was keeping the weight on because grapes are super high in sugar. So my smoothies were tasting great, but I was still like piling on the weight. Not cool, right? So make sure that whenever you're drinking your shakes or your protein shakes, whatever it is, you know what you're drinking and it's healthy and right for your body. All right. If you work out, you want to, I know like my trainer, he would say like, before you work out, you shouldn't eat, right? And so you don't eat and then you work out for the time and then you go ahead and pile on the food. Then you eat and pile on the protein. Have a shake, and then eat clean, eat clean, eat clean. You have your boiled eggs, your oatmeal, your salmon, your broccoli, and you want to eat in small portions, that's fine, but don't eat after maybe 8. 6 is ideal, they say, but 8, maybe 9 is pushing it a little bit, right? But try not to eat late because, of course, you eat, right? And then you go lay down because you get tired and then think about all that food, that weight that's just packed on and sticking in your stomach and staying right there. You're not able, and it's just going to stay as fat, right? So you want to be able to make sure that you're eating at the right times and try to have a healthy breakfast. All right. Men. We're talking to you. We're talking about you and your health. We want to make sure that you are doing what you need to do to stay healthy for the women and the kids and the people, your family in your life. All right. My goodness, you have to do it. So some of the things that you want to do for your checkup screenings, you want to do your physical exams once a year. Then you also want to do your TB skin test. You do your TB skin test. It should be done on occasion of exposure to suggested symptoms as directed by your physician. That's done every 5 years. Okay? Men, also blood tests and urinalysis. That should be done as well. Especially if you're between the ages of 40 to 49, that should be done every 2 years. Hey Richard, how are you? We're doing well. Thank you for joining in. All right. EKGs, that should be done as well. All right. Those screenings for your heart abnormalities, that should be done And that should be done every year, especially if you're over 50 years old. All right. Tetanus boosters, those should be done as well every 10 years. So check, 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 and see what you have and have done. Rectal exams, man, I know that's very important to you. That should be done as well. All right. So you want to make sure that you're functioning correctly and no one's not having bad times. Your PSA blood test should be done as well, especially if you're 50 and over. And chest x-rays, those should be done if you're 50 and over, and it should be done at least twice a year. So there's so many different things. You want to look about even your bone health, right? Your bone health is important. Self exams are important. Your testosterone screenings are important. STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, are important. Men, get yourself checked, especially if you know you're not using stuff. Because you might not have it, but you don't know what that other person has, right? So you want to make sure and always check. And I know if you do an HIV test today in January, you're getting results from about 6 months ago. All right. So your body is going to report what you had back then. So 6 months forward is what's going to be happening right now. Right. So that's what I was taught when I went to get my HIV test, because you have to get tested. You just never know. And it's not only through STDs that you can get HIV, right? Thank God I didn't have it. I don't have it, but you still have to go and check because you never know, especially if you're in the medical field and someone gets a cut. You could be in any field and someone gets a cut and it can be you know, go through your hands, blood to blood, skin to skin, and you can get infected. So you want to make sure that you're being safe. All right. I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to definitely come right back and we're going to keep talking about men's health. For all your landscaping needs, if you want curb appeal, if you want great things happening to your front yard, your backyard, you have to call Mr. Reggie's Lawn Care at 404-246-9582. They are extremely professional and extremely efficient. Oh my God, they work fast, they're so neat, and they are incredible. Reggie's Lawn Care at 404-246-9582 if you are in the Atlanta area. Call them. If you're not in the Atlanta area, maybe he could work something out. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. They are excellent. For all your construction needs for your in-home, you want to add some flair to your home. You've been watching HGTV and you're just like, hey, I can't do it for myself. Give Junior Williams a call with JNP Construction. Their number is 678-927-6945. 678-927-6945. You have to give them a call. If you want your floors done, you want new tiles, you want to put some boards up or backsplash, whatever it is that you need, just give them a call. He is extremely efficient, and those two companies, they do work for me. So I'll always support them and tell them that they do a phenomenal job, because they do. All right. So definitely, that's it. So again, we want to thank our sponsors, You Choose Radio. We want to thank Reggae Global Radio, Zion Highness Radio, and Viscosity Blend Radio. Big up yourselves. Woo-wee. All right. So we're going back into men's health. And again, we're talking about men's health. Call the men in your life. Let them know we're chopping it up. If they have something that they want to add, they can give me a call at 404-913-1124. 404-913-1124. If you're a female and you're just like, hey, I like the discussion, I'm doing my regular checkups, or, go ahead and let me know as well. Somebody had made a comment, because I posted it, and they made a comment and they were saying that This is the topic that I posted. I said, why do women take better care of their health than men? And why don't men go to the doctor? Women, please ask your man and write his comment. So, of course, somebody said big facts. Lonnie Sanders, he said big facts. But Emily P. Bush was like, hey, so this is her comment. So, all my dad does is go to the doctor. Well, let me see. Where did she start? Uh, okay. She said, so my dad does go to all my dad do is or does is go to the doctor. He has school, retirement insurance, Medicare, and TRICARE. I can't afford to go right now. That's the whole thing, money. So I call this stereotype. So she called me out. She was like, yo, I'm stereotyping saying that men don't go. All right, because her dad goes now. And so my response was, thank you. So glad your dad is on top of his game. So awesome. I wish many more men could follow his footsteps. Research does show that men are less likely to go to the doctor. So kudos to your dad. He's a part of the exception. I wonder what made him be so responsible with his health. So she said, no wonder money. The man is rich as Roosevelt. He gets medical attention because all of it's now free. She said, peel back the layers, it's down to money. Okay, so it's all down to money. Well, mostly for the female and probably for the men because a lot of men can't afford it too. So money is a big factor. That is true. I know we had Obamacare, and that's probably not. I know it was taken away, and people can't be forced now to have insurance. I'm not quite 100 on what the insurance requirements are, and you have to have a certain income to get Medicaid, and you can't even get Peachtree. I'm talking about Atlanta, y'all. You can't even get Peachtree if you have a certain amount of income. Tell me what it is in your area. Like if you make over, and it's like real low too. If you make like over 25,000 or even 30, you can't get Peach Care for kids for your kids. And if your income is low, that's like, yo, that's not cool. And not everybody can get Medicaid because especially if you're like over like a penny over, you make $1 over, they're not giving it to you, right? So money is definitely a factor. That is true. That is so true. But I think that a lot of people they'll go out to the parties and they'll do all these different things. Yes, it might not cost as much as healthcare, but at least go to a minute clinic or go to, you know, an office, a doctor's office. You gotta get your checkup regardless. Spend differently. Instead of going out to eat and going out to the movies and doing all this stuff sometimes, put some money aside. You should be saving anyway, right? At least 10% of what you earn, if possible. Hey, don't get on me. But that's what savings are for things like this, right? All right. So we want to make sure that you are thinking straight. You are being your best self, men. All right. Be calm. So mental skills. Da, 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 da. Yeah. So some of the mental skills that you have. Make sure that you test your mind. It constrict. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that. All right. So let me go back to what I had. So I was watching the story. I was reading the story, and this man talked about his experience. Now, he was walking, and somebody asked him, "Hey, how are you doing?" And he was like, "I'm fine." And then, the person was like, "Okay, great." And they walked away, and that was it. And he was like, "Yo, like, if that person really, truly knew how I was really feeling on the inside, they would have stopped and really figured out what does fine really mean." And I always say, we look it up. Fine, and the free dictionary, it says freaked out, freaked out or frustrated. The I for insecure, the N for neurotic, and the E for emotional. So when somebody says, "Oh, I'm feeling fine," there's something behind that fine. I don't even try to, I make sure, like, I'm so cognizant, I don't even use the word fine. I'm like, I'm doing great, I'm doing fantastic, I'm not doing so well. And sometimes if you say you're not doing so well, will that person stop and hear that? Because we're so on the move that sometimes we don't hear the responses of people, right? And what his problem was, he was getting older. He was in his 40s, and he was starting to thin. His hair was starting to thin out, and he was like, he laughed at his thinning hair, but that was a problem for him. So men go through these things too, women, not just the men. And that's a part of men's health, right? Because we know that these things affect us psychologically. It affects your psyche. You want to make sure that you're feeling great, you look great. And he talked about how he had a great head of hair when he was young, and he took pride in that. He wasn't very social, and but having his hair in place, he could dress like he's in the 60s. He could look retro, and he did whatever he wanted to do because he know his hair was on point. And as he got older, he started to thin out. And it really bothered him psychologically. And, he went to his doctor. He spoke to his doctor about how he was feeling. But the fact is, he had to tell himself, oh, it's just hair, right? And he was just like, I could get a haircut and, put it over to the side. But when the wind blows, we know it's going to show. And men have these real problems too, ladies. Please talk to them and make sure you know how they feel. And he said, when you go to the barber sprays water on the hair, and when the water gets sprayed, your hair looks even thinner, and that bothered him. So he wanted to just like roll in a corner. Eventually, he figured out, what, it's just hair. He was like, my dad looks great bald, and he has all these great friends that are bald. But he had to go through the psychological issues, the brain. He definitely had to become strong in his mind. And we know that women go through that as well. So, women, remember, help your man not to be having these macho attitudes about not going to the physician. Okay? Men who self report traditional views of masculinity are also less likely to get consistent health care. Let the men know that it's sexy to go to the doctor. I don't know. You got to figure out a way to get them to go. You know, please nag them. Men don't like that word nag. Women don't like it either. I can't stand that word. But if we have to nag the men in our lives, nag our loved ones, then that will help. It turns out, research says almost 20% of men admit to going to the doctor just so a loved one will stop bothering them about it. Women, kudos to you. If you're nagging and bothering your loved one to go to the doctor for themselves and it's working, don't stop doing it. Many men fear the diagnosis that they're going to get. That's the bottom line. All right. And 20% of respondents said being nervous to find out that what could be wrong was a roadblock to scheduling an annual exam. And we all get it. Everybody knows we have a time to live and we have a time to expire. No one wants to expire. Some people just say, hey, I'd rather not know. But you still have to take care of your health. Okay. A lot of men are uncomfortable with the exams that they have to take. Men report about being uncomfortable with certain body exams, in particular the rectal exam and other invasive tests. And I get it, but you have to look at it as, hey, it's something I have to do. It's going to take about a couple of minutes and then I'm out. It doesn't matter. It's not personal. It's their job. They don't want you. They don't care about it. Do what you got to do. And I remember as a female, when I had to first get my exam like that. And of course, they put you on the table and your feet are up, spread apart, and it's uncomfortable, yes, but it's their job. They see this every day, and it's like, whatever, let's just get over it. Get over it. Let me do my job so you can go and make sure you're healthy. All right. So that's definitely the case. Don't take it personal. Don't let it mess up with your manhood. I know island men are like, yo, no, my naga do this. I know my naga touch me. And it's not about that. It's not sexual. It's not personal. All right. Uh, Closing the care gap between men and women. Men are twice as likely to wait more than 2 years. All right. We want to break that gap. Do some research. Do some research. All right. Make sure that what you're feeling is whatever you're feeling, research it. And you can try to do your own little home remedies, but definitely consult your doctor. Okay. Be honest with your doctor. Let your doctor know how you're feeling. Let your doctor know that you're having these problems, maybe erectile problems or whatever it is, but you have to be honest. Some men don't like to be honest with their doctors because now they look vulnerable and they look weak. It's not about being weak, it's your doc. It's your doctor. Your doctor needs to know these things. All right. And if your doctor doesn't know, I mean, who else are you going to share this with? Right. People in Australia, people in the US. It's not just a US thing. People in the islands are just on in Australia. Denial, mistrust, and the fear of being perceived as weak are just some of the reasons men neglect their health. And this is according to some research that was done with men during Men's Health Week. Again, Men's Health Week is in June, but we are jumping the gun so that by June we know we have healthy men. The research asked men across Australia who kept them from seeking what kept them from seeking help. A lot of men try to be in charge of many aspects of their life, but it doesn't always extend to their health. You can be in charge of your finances, your job, and everything else, but why not be in charge of your own health so that you can be able to do everything that you need to do? We need you here. We love you guys. Thank you so much for being with us, being a part of the Positive Forces show, where it's all about every day, the mundane. How is it that we take care of our lives? How is it that we go through life? All right. So we know that pressures of life comes, and that's what we do. We just talk about these things. All right. So again, we want to thank our sponsors, Viscosity Blend, Reggae Global Radio, Zion Highness Radio, and You Choose Radio. Guys, a fantastic week. Thank you for keeping it locked with us. And really appreciate you. This year that you have a great testimony. Love you, love you. Hey, Reginald, thank you so much, sir. Everything. I want good health for you this year.